Today on Houston Life, paper or cloth? KPRC2 health reporter Haley Hernandez breaks down the effectiveness of masks and which ones you should be reaching for.
Plus, we are highlighting the local nonprofit using photography to give back to foster kids. Learn how you can help these children find their forever home.
Then keep the learning happening after the bell rings. The 2 easy DIY science experiments that you can create with some items you already have in your home.
And it's the pop-up mini golf experience featuring our favorite Pixar characters. We're going to take you live downtown where Lauren Kelly is. She's getting a preview of this outdoor socially distant activity for all ages. All that straight ahead on Houston Life.
Live from Studio B and KPRC2. Houston Life starts now.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Houston Life on this Tuesday, January 4th. I'm Courtney Savala.
Hi, Courtney. Hi, everybody. I'm Derek Shore. So glad to have you with us. Okay, set the record straight. Are you doing dry January?
Yes, I am. So is Orlando. Yes. Not only dry January, but I'm like totally into this clean eating thing. Yes, it's happening.
You're doing it for the entire month?
Yes.
Courtney, we're emceeing like the Grand Champion wine
Oh, I'm not going to do it that day.
Next week, we literally have a rodeo event.
I know.
Where we are emceeing an event. It's an appreciation dinner for, you know, the wines and Wine Club Wednesday, yeah, in our ear.
Well, not that day either.
Okay, so you're doing dry-ish January.
It's sort of damp.
Busted on live TV. So here's the thing. I mean, dry January. We talked yesterday about how Dolly Parton says she never makes resolutions.
Yes.
Because she doesn't want to feel disappointed in herself because she breaks them. And I think a lot of us feel that guilt if we fail. Right?
Well, no one likes to fail. Although there's the people that say, well, you have to fail to grow.
Well,
that's fail.
It's true.
It is true, but
true.
You know, in the moment of your failure, it's horrible.
How do you get up if you don't fall down? I totally believe in that. So, so here's the thing. How do you fall? Well, if I'm Courtney Zavala, I just fall when I'm standing. It just like one moment she's there, then she falls down. So here's the thing, dry January. A lot of people are saying maybe you just drink a little less, maybe a few days per week. Blake Lively, you know, she has a new non-alcoholic Betty Buzz is what it's called, like mocktail collection.
So she created it. It's like on the market?
She created it.
Okay.
And so Lively, for a long time, she has been sort of known as like she doesn't really drink alcohol very much. In fact, when they were doing Gossip Girl, she would go to this bar in New York City, and the bartenders always knew like they were to make her this non-alcoholic beverage, right? But a lot of people, they say if you go out, maybe you're shamed if you don't drink. There should be no pressure to drink, right? So here's a direct quote from Blake. She says, "I don't drink. I know that's odd coming from the wife of an infamous gin slinger," because Ryan Reynolds is like essentially the face of aviation gin.
Right.
So over the past many years of mixing but not drinking cocktails, it became clear mixers are the unsung heroes of the drink world and deserve just as much love as alcohol.
I agree.
There you go.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so many of my friends who don't drink, and so you want to have options, and whenever they come over, we have options for them. But I also think, too, why not? I mean, you don't have to have a drink every time.
And it's like not good for you, right?
No.
So here's the thing. Speaking of non-drinkers, millennials are leading the charge. 42% of no and low alcohol beer drinkers in America, millennials.
Wow.
And this is a huge growing industry. So New York Times says the non-alcoholic beverage market is going to be worth an estimated $1.6 trillion by 2026. Millennials, again, making up the biggest segment. So I feel like we need to start a little non-alcoholic beverage company, Courtney.
It looks like there's space in that realm for us.
You could call it Courtney's Cups.
Let's not. Let's work on the name.
I said that before thinking it through.
We're going to need to work on the name.
Courtney's Cocktail List.
Let's work on the name.
Courtney's.
We're going to go back to the drawing board on this one.
Cups of cocktails.
What is happening with you?
Maybe they're
You
lettuce
are not
cups.
in charge of
Maybe they're
naming.
lettuce cups on the menu.
No, you're not in charge of naming
Is this
it.
P.F. Chang's? Courtney's lettuce cups at P.F. Chang's. It would be perfect.
So good, too. I'm hungry, so that would be good. You know, speaking of trends and things that, you know, I think during the pandemic, you either drank a little bit more, you tried to drink a little bit less.
Oh, alcohol sales skyrocketed
Yes.
during the pandemic.
Absolutely.
They did.
And so now what women and men came to realize during the pandemic is everything that we put into ourselves, right? Speaking of hair color, so many men and women decided, you know what, I can't go anywhere, color my hair, so it's just going to have to work itself
It's
out.
also very, very expensive.
Very expensive.
And a lot to keep up with, right?
And there are so many people that look fat. Your mom is one of them. My mom is one of them. Andie MacDowell, I don't know if you watched her new series on Netflix.
Has she gone gray?
She's gone gray.
Wow.
And that was part of her saying, you know, it was the pandemic gray, and she's not going back. She's
Cool.
okay with it. One major Uber celebrity says, never going to do it. Not for me.
Ooh.
How'd you know?
Who are you talking about?
Cher told People magazine, look, I have tried everything. I have done it all. I mean, maybe not all, but you know, she is the one for decades who has been taking risks with clothing and makeup and everything and hair.
Platinum blonde in this photo here. I mean, that's close to gray.
She said she will never give up her dark jet black roots.
Wow.
Just won't do it, not for her. And the reason why this is surfacing now is she and Sweetie, the rap star, teamed up together for this MAC campaign called Challenge Accepted. And MAC is always known from the beginning of kind of pushing the boundaries when it comes to makeup. And so what better two faces of two different decades, basically, Cher and Sweetie. And so Challenge Accepted is kind of like trying something out of your comfort zone, and that's where this came from in the launch of this campaign. She said, I am never, look, I'm ready to take a risk on anything. I will never let my hair grow gray.
Well, and to be fair, Cher is also a very wealthy celebrity who has a glam team, and so I think if you have someone doing your hair and your makeup consistently, it might be easier to stay up with, I mean, like, because she has kind of a jet black look, right? And most people, if they've gone gray and they're doing a jet black, their roots are showing within a couple days.
Oh, easily. Easily. But you know, here's the thing. We talked about Dolly yesterday. Icon, of course, no resolutions, not going to do it. Today we have Cher saying, ain't happening.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, she's beautiful either way.
I love her.
I can't believe she was here in Houston. She didn't stop by Houston Life. I know, we got to work on that. Hey, a quick story too. This really caught my eye. So there was a homemade calendar back in the 80s. It has finally had its moment and gone viral. So it's a Bored Panda article, and essentially a Twitter user shared the images from the calendar. This was a project his mom and her sisters worked on back in the 80s. So the calendar is called Every Woman's Fantasy, and it featured various good-looking men, Courtney, doing household chores, washing dishes, this guy's about to scrub a toilet, ironing clothes, cleaning windows, the whole thing. So essentially, I did a little deep dive on this. It's very, very funny because it turns out some of the guys were professional models, others were just randos. They printed, the mom and her sisters, they printed up business cards in Seattle.
No.
And they went to parks and like handed them out to guys and said, hey, do you want to take your shirt off and do a photo shoot with us?
Oh my gosh. I think my favorite was the one with all of them. It was either December or November. One has a raw turkey. The other one's peeling potatoes.
And they're all in very interesting sweaters.
It's a sort of like soft focus thing going. There it is.
I mean, look at that.
Look at those sweaters.
About to put that turkey in the oven.
Oh my goodness. What's the name of the calendar again?
Let's see. I have it here in my notes.
Sorry.
It's called Every Woman's Fantasy. Yes. There you go.
Listen, do yourself a favor. You need a laugh. Laughter is good for the soul. Look up this article. It is hilarious.
It's really, really good. It's Every Woman's Fantasy. And probably some fantasies for men as well.
Probably.
Guessing.
The raw turkey.
The raw turkey. Listen, anyone who's going to clean your house, like, that is fantastic, whether it's a spouse or not. We love them.
We love it. It was great. I love the resurfacing of this today, too. All right, today is Trending Tuesday. From the funny to the weird and everything in between, every Tuesday we're going to share a little viral video that's caught our attention.
Okay, I love this idea, and I really love our first trending video. It's from our H-Town girl, Lizzo, and here she is trying out the latest TikTok food trend. Okay.
She looks apprehensive.
She looks apprehensive. She's got a package of Oreos there. She's opening.
They're
What's
vegan,
she gonna do
by the
with
way.
it? Okay, well, if you read the caption, mustard on Oreos.
No.
This video has 1.7 million views.
Why are we doing this? Why are we
Well,
ruining a perfectly good Oreo?
But why not? I mean, I love mustard and I love Oreos, so put them together and bam.
That's a lot of mustard.
That is
was a dollop.
healthy dollop of mustard.
Oh boy.
Okay, and
She convinced? Look at her uncertainty. Oh.
Okay. So
not sure.
in the entire video, yeah, she seems unsure. Well, she keeps eating. She's still going. And
Okay, we're gonna do it again.
And
Maybe
she's gonna
not
do it
quite
again.
sure.
So it can't be that bad. By the way, I love this Lizzo look. Like we're just hanging out with her at home.
I know, and here's the thing. There are two schools when you eat an Oreo. First way and the second way.
Bite into it or open it up.
Which one are
Beatrice, jump on in. Let's find out which one I am and which one you are. So we have these. Thank you, B. It's nice to see you. We have this little.
I'm a clean eating person as of yesterday, so I don't think I can do this.
Are
This
you
is
serious
sweet.
right now?
I'm off the sugar.
What happens on the show doesn't count in real life.
It doesn't?
Open the mustard, Courtney. Come on. Live a little.
I don't mind the mustard, but why are we ruining a perfectly good Oreo?
Have you ever gone to put mustard on something and just the liquidy juice falls out and it's nasty?
Yeah, did that just happen to you?
No,
I wonder how long these packets have been around the station, because my mustard's hard.
Mine is kind of brown.
Mine's hard. It's coming out like not as a...
Okay, we'll squeeze the whole thing out.
It's not... It's a piece of mustard.
can smell
Look at this. Is not right.
Wait, hold on.
Do you have another packet?
Hold
that
on.
one's old. Oh, this is worse. It's all dried up.
Yeah, come on, just squish it. Warm it up with those warm
Oh,
hands.
you guys are trying to...
Oh.
This is gross.
Something is wrong.
That's hard.
Is this mustard? Okay,
Is this from the old building?
Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and try mine. That was such a tiny dollop.
I don't want to...
Okay, here's the big one. Ready for the money shot?
That's weird. Right? It's like tangy and strange. What's your thought? Where are you at?
I can't tell if I'm eating a sandwich or a cookie, but both are delicious.
You like it together?
It's actually not terrible. If y'all have Oreos and mustard at home
That hasn't expired, then give it a try.
that hasn't turned brown and crusty, it's actually not terrible.
It's okay. I wouldn't do it.
Wow,
Yeah?
that sandwich was delicious.
I know. Are you eating a pickle or an Oreo?
I don't know.
Still to come, everyone had to have it in the early 2000s. The tech item that we now have to say RIP to.
Oh no, is it the VCR?
No.
Oh man, I miss my VCR. First though, why don't we check in with Lauren Kelly, who has found something sure to be a hole-in-one for the entire family. Hey Lauren.
You guys, look at this magnificent weather. Pixar Putt is now open in Discovery Green, and this is something the entire family can enjoy. 18 fun holes, lots of interaction. Check this out. I'm still working on the hole-in-one, or 4, or 8, but more details coming up next when Houston Life returns. Hey, it went in! It went in,
What you know about me? Just what the people say.
You better buy Courtney'sCups.com before it is sold.
I just bought it. I did.
Okay, that's a good one.
I'm glad it was still available.
Okay. Wow, well, welcome back to Houston Life, folks. This is very sad news, as you mentioned. It is January 4th, 2022, and an item that was once, glued to people's hands. 80 million users in the United States of the classic BlackBerry phone. Well, the phone is no more. So essentially, starting today, you can no longer use a BlackBerry, not even to call 911. The company will not support devices running BlackBerry 10, 7.1 operating system, anything earlier than that. And it is unbelievable that it was just 10 years ago, again, Courtney, that 80 million people used BlackBerries.
You know, I remember switching and having to go from BlackBerry to the next phone, and I thought, how am I ever going to not use this to type?
Because the full keyboard was revolutionary. I do remember like the clicking and the sounds of it.
And then the scroll. It was Unbelievable.
I know.
Because I
know.
tried the Palm Pilot, not the same.
Yeah,
you know,
I had a Palm Pilot too.
I know.
But remember like the flip phones and you had to text like click, 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 click,
Yes,
click, click,
getting
click,
to
click,
the
and then
number.
you'd written like the.
Yes.
I mean, it took an hour to
But
send one
hanging
sentence.
up on a flip phone was the
so
best.
satisfying.
Satisfying.
Bam!
Oh, it was so good.
Just like that. Well, R.I.P. BlackBerry. We will miss you.
It's a moment of silence.
I was so confused. These new phones with no buttons on them. I was like, but how do
does
they
this
even
work?
There's no button. How do?
I don't know.
Somehow it still works.
Still don't understand it.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Joe Sam with our question of the day. Hey, Joe, happy Tuesday.
Happy Tuesday. We're moving through the week. You know what, you guys? We want to hear from you. What's something you couldn't live without if it was discontinued? Those answers are coming in. Let's take a look at the big board right now. We're looking at Holly's answer. She writes in contact lenses.
Amen,
Yeah.
sister.
I will be blind as a bat. Absolutely. Donna writes in snail mail. I love sending and I love receiving.
Oh, that's
You
sweet.
too.
We have Jennifer writes in HEB curbside.
Amen
I'm
to
with
that.
you on that. Absolutely. And then Tom writes in, ooh, Tito's with the little wink emoji and cheers to you.
I guess he's not doing dry January.
Absolutely not. We want you guys to head over to the Houston Life Facebook page. Join that conversation. We'll share more of your comments a little later on in the show. That would be something I would live with is just the DoorDash and HEB curbside. I
Yes.
couldn't live without it. Like, it's so easy and I just relax, wait for it to come to my doorstep.
I know. And speaking of kind of springboarding from that and sort of the alcohol thing that we were talking about in the midst of the pandemic, the to-go alcohol.
Oh,
The
yes.
drinks, the margaritas, the drink trucks.
I know. Who knew?
I know.
It's a whole new world.
Life-changing.
Glad to live in it. All right, Joe. Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right, looking for a fun activity for the family to enjoy together. This sounds like a good family night.
Oh, it's going to be great. It's one of my favorite places in Houston. Lauren Kelly is on par today with a perfect attraction for all ages. Lauren, you're down at Discovery Green. Tell us what it's all about.
I sure am, you guys. Look, I'm getting back into the swing of things today here at Pixar Putt. This place just opened a couple of weeks ago. It is a perfect open-air mini golf putt course. And you know what makes it even better? It's got all of our favorite Pixar-themed movies within the 18 holes. And here from Rockefeller Productions is Luke, who has been giving us the lowdown on pretty much the entire course. You took it here from New York. This is so much fun, and I love that. Look how busy it is. You guys just opened your doors at 3 o'clock, and you have all these holes that are filled already.
Yes, indeed. We're packed up. We usually, actually, since we started, we've sold out for a lot of our different time slots and entire days. So it's made us very happy as a production company.
Look, the trick is you got to get online and purchase a ticket because you're going to get a time slot. How long does it take people to get through the whole course?
Takes about 1.5 to 2 hours, we say, for like a group of 4.
Okay.
It might be a little less for couples or a bit longer for a larger group, like a group of 8.
Now, we want to make sure that you know it is not only for kids, right? At night, this place comes to life even more because there's adult beverages and it's kind of like an 18 and up year old crowd.
Yes, indeed. Putt after dark,
Putt
as
after
we
dark.
call it. And that's where, you know, it's 18 and up and we let the adults come in because it's quite a challenging set of 18 holes. And yeah, they can be themselves without little rugrats running around.
And you know what? You guys have such an amazing backdrop here downtown at Discovery Green. You see the skyline. It's just fantastic. So why don't you tell everybody the hours that you're open? Because we got out here and you guys opened officially at 3 o'clock until
10 p.m.
Okay.
Last putters go in at 8:30, so we make sure you have enough time to play the whole course.
Okay.
And then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're open 10 to 10.
This is so much fun, y'all. Just to point this out, we have The Incredibles, you have Soul, you have Cars, you have a bunch of different Toy Story holes, and we're going to get into those and show you exactly how to work them if you're trying to make that hole in one. I'm going to work on that coming up a little bit later on the show. Luke, you hang with us, and you guys throwing it back to Studio B now. I've got a little bit of putting to work on.
Okay, Lauren, sounds good. You're going to be great. I know it. Hole-in-one energy.
Ace. Absolutely.
Thanks, Lauren. After the break, with Omicron cases on the rise, how effective are our masks now? KPRC2 health reporter Haley Hernandez joins us to break down the great cloth versus paper debate.
And later, 2 fun and easy projects to spark your child's interest in STEM from an early age. Stay right there. Houston Life will be right back.
Well, welcome back. Okay, it's the great mask debate, from N95s to surgical and cloth masks like we're used to wearing. With so many choices out there, how do we know if we're wearing the best kind of face covering to protect ourselves against Omicron variant and also our kids? KPRC2 health reporter Haley Hernandez is here now with more information and, of course, to just break it all down for us. This was a big conversation in my house recently because of the kids. I'm not really sure, sending them back to school. What mask? Just tell me which one to use.
Yeah, because we had all gotten kind of like lax about it, right? And now Omicron, oh my gosh, it's more transmissible, so you need to get back to wearing masks. I actually just talked to a doctor, Dr. Wynn from U of H, before I came onto this segment. I was like, okay, refresher really quick, because we haven't talked about this since the beginning of the pandemic.
Right.
And yeah, that is definitely recommended to go back to the mask wearing, just because Omicron is so transmissible. And so, you know, even though the masks can help prevent the transmission, you know, it's just encouraged to start wearing them again, just to try and keep those rates down a little bit.
Absolutely. I mean, we're seeing the cases soaring as well. Let's talk about the material, because I know 2 years ago we were all like getting fancy with our cloth masks, and it was leopard and sparkles and all these things. And maybe we have ours from the beginning, but right now they're saying really more surgical masks are the best way to protect yourselves.
And they kind of always have. Like Texas A&M had released a study at the beginning of the pandemic saying, okay, here's the rankings of them. You want your N95, then the surgical mask, you know, the paper mask
like
that the majority of us have, blue, black, whatever it is, and then the cloth mask. So the idea was always that cloth, like the virus the particles can actually escape through the cloth.
Okay.
They definitely have studies saying that they can escape through the gator masks, which are obviously a kid favorite.
Right.
But those are really not doctor favorite. They really want medical grade, which is the N95 or the surgical mask. And I see here you have KF94. Those are kind of like equivalent to N95. So either N95 or KF94 is recommended for like top-notch protection.
And I do like this one too, especially for our kids and really all of us, is that there's really no escaping. So like, you know, the nose and the chin is covered. So there's no way to kind of, you know, it's getting a good grasp on our face.
A seal is what you want.
Yes.
That's the most important thing with any mask, is you want it to have a good seal. So you don't have to get rid of your pretty, colorful, fashionable cloth masks, because you can always wear those over the surgical mask. And then the idea is that it provides an even better seal over the surgical mask, which provides you even better protection. So yeah, you want to layer up the cloth mask. If you're going to wear one, it's best to layer it over a surgical mask, and then you're getting really good protection.
The one thing too, around town, I've seen a lot of the surgical masks back in stock. I did a quick search on Amazon before you and I sat down, and I saw a bunch of these are available, because that was the big thing a year ago. We couldn't get them. And now we're back to wearing lipstick. That's why I like these, because it gives us the duck bill. It doesn't mess our lipsticks up, right?
Yeah. And what I'll say though, if you order them off of Amazon, which is where I get mine, so like no hate against Amazon, but you can always come across some fake masks, right? So if you get them and they don't feel right, or they don't have like a good like seal on the nose or anything, you might have gotten a bad batch. So, you know, make sure that you're trying to get from a reputable company if you can.
Yeah, check those reviews for sure. Haley, thanks so much. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. So good to be on here.
I know. It's great to see you.
Thanks,
and your babies are so cute and growing.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Of course, Haley is going to have more on the latest health headlines coming up on the news at 4 and online of click2houston.com. Now we're going to check in with Joe for a look at how one local group is giving back to some foster kids. Hi, Joe.
Hey, Courtney, that's right. Barrett's a resource for foster children. I'll share how they're getting creative in helping them find their forever homes. And of course, we'll get a check of what's coming up for the news at 4, including helpful advice to get your finances in order for the new year. Houston Life is back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to Houston Live. Courtney and Derek back with you on this Tuesday at 3:30.
Yeah, let's get more of your comments to our question of the day. Earlier we asked, what is something you couldn't live without if it was discontinued? Susan writes in, I would live, but I really would hate to be without Diet Dr. Pepper. Hey, listen, Susan, you and Bill Baeza, our former 10 p.m. anchor there, he loves his DB.
So does best friend Lori.
Oh.
Pat writes in, Houston Life, it would be a sad day.
Oh.
Thank you, Pat.
That is so sweet. Becky writes in, toilet paper.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
We've been through that scare, you know?
That would be tough. That would be tough. I think for me, it would be my Sonicare toothbrush.
Oh, listen. Do you travel with yours?
I always travel with mine, because now with a regular toothbrush,
Feels weird, right?
I don't feel like I can ever get totally clean. Do you? travel with yours?
I used to not, and then when I'd get home, it's sort of like getting into your bed, you know, after you travel, you're like, oh, hello, bed. And then you use the good toothbrush, and you're like, why didn't I take this with me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Deep thoughts.
Deep thoughts.
This is very interesting. Pat, thanks for sticking with us. Houston Life. Let's check in with Keith, Christine, and Frank for a look at what they have coming up at the top of the hour. Hey, guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Hello, happy Tuesday to you guys.
What can't you live without?
I think now probably those new Celsius. You all were talking about non-alcoholic drinks earlier. Those Celsius energy drinks.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I live and die by those things now.
I do love a Topo Chico.
Yeah, those are good too.
Love a good topo.
Mine's boring. I couldn't live without a microwave oven. But I grew up without a microwave oven. Y'all didn't.
Oh, I did too. We did have one growing up. Oh, yeah.
I mean, the first one I saw, I bought myself when I was 24 years old. And so we always had lasagna that was cold in the middle because when we reheated it, you know? Because you just, I mean, I don't know what I would do without a microwave oven.
Air fryers are like way better.
Yeah.
Yes, air
That's
fryers
new
will warm your
technology.
food up and make it seem like, you know, they just delivered the pizza.
Yeah.
What they say.
What's happening?
I'm changing mine to pizza. I couldn't live without pizza.
I'm with you on that.
Are you guys doing a cooking segment now, or what?
I don't know.
Well, since you all never invite us over for any of the wine or anything, we're gonna just have to
Okay.
do it ourselves, you know?
Drinking right now. Okay, off the rails. Let's get this truck back on the road. Okay, the weather outside. It turned out to be pretty nice today.
Yeah, it was a cold start right there in the 30s, and now we're warming up nicely into the 60s. Look at that sky. It's beautiful. 69 degrees in Sugar Land, almost to 70. 67 in Galveston, 68 Lake Jackson. It's pleasant out there. It'll cool pretty quickly, but we do have a south wind, and it's fairly stout, 13, 17, 14 miles an hour. So that's going to continue to push that warm air in here. So if you're going to take this dog out for a walk, is that not the cutest dog you've ever seen in your life? That's Percy. Hello, Percy. I got 66, 64, 60 degrees just for you. Enjoy that dog walk. As we go to the Futurecast, you can see these temperatures at 8 o'clock tonight, upper 50s. And then we dive right on down to around 49, 50 degrees for an overnight. So not too bad, but certainly some sweater weather to start tomorrow. But look how much we warm up right there into the low and mid 70s. So we got this warm flow coming in with that high pressure in place. Coming up, we'll talk about the evening more, the shorts for Wednesday, how long all of that lasts, because I have a change for Thursday and Friday. And right now, looks like a bit of a weekend washout. I'll tell you how washed out that weekend will be.
Okay, we can't wait, Frank. Thank you, sir. All right, look at now some of the other stories that we're working on for our newscast at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, an update to a story we've been following since New Year's Day. A 4-year-old girl wounded when someone shot up the apartment where she lived. We have now learned that the little girl is the niece of George Floyd. We're hearing from family members this afternoon.
Also at 4, getting your finances in order for the new year. It is a popular resolution for many, but what about those debt relief or debt settlement companies? Investigator Amy Davis has advice you need to know.
And plus, it's been cold in southeast Houston for a few days, but nothing compared to what's happening, or at least happened in Virginia. A monster snowstorm stranding drivers on the road for hours. We're going to take a look at how long some of those drivers had to stay inside of their cars. It was a very long time, I can tell you that, guys.
Could not have been pleasant. Goodness.
No, horrific scene for sure. Thanks, guys. We'll see you at the top of the hour.
All right. Well, here in Harris County, there are tens of thousands of abused and neglected children, and a local nonprofit is getting creative to raise awareness and change lives.
It's called BEAR, and Joe Sam is here with more on their Heart Galleries program, which helps foster children find their forever home. Hi, Joe.
Hey guys, yeah, this is something that's really incredible that they're doing. These galleries have been spread around the city, hoping to touch the hearts of anyone able to provide a safe home for foster children. I caught up with one of the photographers that has a close connection to this project. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So what do you see when you look at these? Many are hiding behind smiles, but have heavy barriers in place.
In order to win someone's trust, especially a child's trust, you're gonna have to break that barrier, because these children have just been through so much.
Ellie Gribo is a photographer volunteering with the BEAR program to capture the personalities of foster kids through the beautiful pictures that are displayed in what's being called Heart Galleries.
And I kind of make it all about them, and I make them feel like, oh, this is your shot. All right, give me some glamour, give me some elbows. Come on, let's do some of this and some of this. And just, you know, you pick the spots where you feel comfortable, and we'll make it happen.
Ellie wants these photos to tell a story of a child, each with their own personality, looking to find a loving family and home. It's a story that she knows all too well.
Once they find out that I'm adopted, that I've adopted my daughter, they're like, oh, you're safe.
Each year in the United States, more than 23,000 children age out of foster care without being adopted. The children in these photos likely have a greater chance of falling down the wrong path, a path that's typically hard to get off of. This is why these galleries are placed in high foot traffic areas to get them noticed and eventually saved.
The more that we see these photos every single day in places like the mall, the Minute Maid Park, at your church, at your local business, when you're coming in and out of your office every day and you pass through the lobby and we have a display there, you're like, what's this all about? Those little moments where people get interested, that's all it takes.
Since the galleries have been up in Houston, 6 children have found a safe and loving home, a goal achieved for Ellie and a dream come true for those adopted.
I'm already getting teary-eyed. It warms my heart. That's exactly why I do this. I want to make sure that every child gets adopted. My goal is to photograph the rest of the children waiting for families and get them adopted by the end of this year. That would be my personal goal. And every time I meet a kid, I go home and I cry all the way home. But no, when I hear that 6 children got adopted in just 1 year, that's a huge turnaround. And it warms my heart. That's exactly why I do this.
Yeah, volunteer photographers, they're always needed to assist the program with getting kids adopted. I'll have a link on our website, HoustonLife.tv, if you're interested in getting involved. Now, I've worked with a lot of programs that involve foster children and trying to get them a foster home or any type of loving permanent home, and it's really, really hard to place these kids. So a lot of these programs like Bear are coming up with these creative ways to try and make that happen. So I think these photographs really speaks to everybody's hearts to get those kids adopted.
Absolutely, and when you think of 6 children who have been adopted from this program, I mean, those kids have been saved, the families have been basically bonded together.
Yep.
It's an incredible story, and what a way to pull on someone's strings by seeing those pictures. And I think, too, that the age of some of these children, they get overlooked.
Exactly, the older
in the adoption world.
So that's why they have to showcase their personality within these photos.
Beautiful.
And as soon as they jump and do a leap or have the basketball or football in, it automatically connects with some of these parents.
They're beautiful photographs, and I'm glad you both made that point that tens of thousands of young people are aged out of the foster care system every single year. So if you are able to foster, you know, there are plenty of 17-year-olds who are looking for a home.
Yeah.
You can change their life.
Absolutely.
Need a family.
And photographers too. So anybody who have creative skills in photography, get out there and help.
Sounds great.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
No problem.
All right, coming up, we're going to shift gears. How about turning your kid into an at-home scientist with 2 easy experiments that will make learning fun?
Check this out, Houston Life. We'll be right back. I love it.
She is a NASA instructional coach and a mom of 2 who's been sharing her expertise in STEM education on her YouTube channel, Mommy and Me, The Listers. Crystal Lister is here with a couple fun experiments we can do at home with the kids to spark their love of science from an early age. Thank you so much for coming, Crystal.
Thank you for having me. My pleasure.
Well, and your husband's here in studio today. We were chatting about your 2-year-old Chrissy. How old is your other one?
1. I have a 1 and a 2-year-old.
A 1 and a 2-year-old. And these are things that you even do with them. Before we get into these experiments, which are super cool, let's talk a little bit about your background and how you went into this field. During the break, you were saying that when you were a young person, you didn't have access to these types of experiments.
Right. So growing up inner city Houston, my goal in life, my passion aligned purpose is to give people who grew up where I grew up, who look like me, a chance to have these experiments and possibly change their whole trajectory in life. Instead of being a cashier like I wanted to be growing up, maybe they want to be an astronaut like Chrissy. That's my purpose.
And with these experiments, wow, I love these photos too. This is fantastic. These experiments, I mean, in your field, obviously it's a lot of fun and it's a great activity for these young people, but you really want to plant a seed or have a spark happen for these young people where they make the connection that what's happening here in these experiments, this is science. And this is, you know, learning about this can learn about the way the world works, right? Right.
See, STEM is a green field and often overlooked for not just persons of color, but women. And so I'm raising a little person in my own image, hopefully. I want her to be even better than I am. And really, the sky is the limit, literally. These are things that we do in our home. But that's in our kitchen, in various rooms of our home. And I really want them to see that anything is possible.
I mean, these pictures are adorable, and I agree. Anything is possible, right? I'm glad you're starting them young. Let's get into this first experiment. So the first experiment is called the Magic Milk. This is for ages 3 and up.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about what we have here. We've got a plate, some Q-tips, paper towels, milk,
yes.
and then I see some dish soap and food coloring.
So we say ages 3 and up, just being mindful that Chrissy is 2, so even a 2-year-old can do it. So
adult supervision.
Don't be nervous, yes.
Okay.
So we have the Magic Milk, and we're gonna show you some really simple things that you can do in your own home. So put the milk in the plate.
Just dump the milk out here?
Yeah, just enough to cover the bottom.
Okay.
All right. And then we're gonna add some drops of food coloring because we like to get a little messy in our mommy and me kitchen.
Okay.
And different drops, so go crazy with it a little bit.
How many drops are we talking here, Crystal?
Just let the spirit move you.
Oh, okay.
And then make different colors so you can really see the magic.
Okay.
And this was one of Chrissy's favorite that you can see on our YouTube channel. She loves making magic milk and making the different colors go together and watching them move.
It is. It's pretty already. We're seeing some video, by the way, of your YouTube channel. How often are you publishing new videos on
We
YouTube?
publish a video once a week. We're trying to go for a little bit more, but my co-stars are a little temperamental.
Mine are too.
As much as they will allow it to happen. And you see Chrissy loves doing experiments. You see, and especially the messier the better. So dip your Q-tip in the soap,
okay.
and then we're gonna dip it and watch the magic happen. You ready?
Okay.
All right.
Just swirl it around?
No, just dip. Oh, look. Can you see why it's Chrissy's favorite? Can you see?
Wow. Okay, this is beautiful. What is the science lesson behind it, Crystal?
So the science behind it is that the magic is the soap. The soap and the milk do not like each other, and it's causing the molecules to race around, thusly moving your colors around the plate even more. You see that?
Yeah.
So when we talk about STEM, we also add a reading component on our YouTube channel with read alouds, as well as an art component with the different colors mixing and moving.
It really is beautiful.
It is
really
art.
beautiful.
We're creating science art.
Science
Don't you
art.
love it?
Okay, the next experiment is called elephant soup, and it involves
soap.
this. Elephant soap.
Yes.
Okay.
So let me tell you why elephant soap. It's a new twist on a classic elephant toothpaste experiment. We heard it all before.
Okay.
We took Chrissy to an elephant sanctuary. Yes, put on your safety gear.
I notice you have yours.
Yes, yes.
Sign on. Okay.
We took Chrissy to an elephant sanctuary, and one of her favorite things was to give the elephant a bath. And of course, they need soap. And we need it to be really big. So this experiment proves just that.
Okay.
So we have peroxide already loaded in here. Oh, wrong one. Soap.
Okay.
We're gonna add a little bit of soap here.
How
Just
much is a little bit?
a squirt. I know it's not really scientific, but we actually filmed part 1 on our YouTube channel, so this is actually the finale here.
Oh, okay.
Let's see if we can make it go bigger.
Okay.
You ready? Let's
Yeah.
add a little food coloring because we like to do that.
Yeah.
We like to have fun.
Okay. So hydrogen peroxide, dish soap, a little food coloring.
And this is potassium iodide solution. Now, before you pour it, we have our safety gear. It's a little stronger peroxide in there, so we'll make sure to be safe.
Okay, sure.
We're gonna pour this, and we're gonna watch the magic happen. You ready?
Pour the whole thing in?
Yes.
Okay.
You better do it fast.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
One,
It's so easy. Chrissy did it. You can do it.
1, 2, 3.
Go.
Pour it.
Whoa! You see the steam?
Wow.
It's an exothermic reaction, so it gets a little hotter than what you would normally see. That's elephant soap, wouldn't you say?
Elephant soap. Fantastic. Crystal Lister, thank you so much for stopping by. That was a lot of fun. Be sure to check out her YouTube channel if you want to see more of these videos. And if you would like to see the complete list of materials and steps, you can head over to our website, HoustonLife.tv. That scared me a little bit.
See, Chrissy loved it. Can you see why?
I can see why. It was fun. I'm glad I have the goggles,
Yes.
too. All right, now let's check back in with Lauren Kelly, who's getting into the swing of things over at Discovery Green. Hey, Lauren.
Hey guys, look at this, look at this. There's a Buzz Lightyear hole too. I'm gonna practice on that one in just a few because I need to make my way up to the first place finisher here at Pixar Putt. See this? Pixar Putt. We're at Discovery Green. I've got more details coming back when Houston Life returns. Buzz. Well, if you're a fan of Putt Golf and a fan of Pixar and Disney movies, Pixar Putt at Discovery Green is the absolute place you and the entire family have to come out and check out. Look at this setup. It's a magnificent day in Houston. All these friends are enjoying this beautiful open-air mini golf putt setup with a lot of these fun and interactive holes. Luke, with Rockefeller Productions, you have brought this. You guys came straight from New York, right? So this was I can't imagine playing putt in New York at this time of year, so I'm sure you're glad to be back in Texas.
Absolutely, especially when we were open towards the end of November. It was a little cold, but you know, people still came out all bundled up and had a great time.
Absolutely. Well, 18 holes, they're all fun, they're all interactive. Why don't we kind of run through some of the favorite movies, and cameraman Paul can kind of show off some of the holes. Right now we're in front of the Ratatouille hole, which you have to kind of get around the roller and the cheese and over here behind the chef's hat. But you saw earlier the Toy Story one over there. What else are we looking at on the course?
We have just about every Pixar movie you can think of. Even we just introduced a new hole for Luca, which came out in the past year or two. We have The Good Dinosaur, which is, you know, one not a lot of people know, but it's still a great, you know, Pixar flick.
I see Cars, The Incredibles. We're looking at Soul,
three different Toy Story holes.
Oh, 3 different Toy Story holes because that's how popular. I see Nemo way over there, Finding Nemo in the back, and this is so much fun, and this is a perfect way. I know a lot of people are hesitant to go out right now, but with this open air space, everything is spread out, and with Discovery Green behind us, there's lots of places to grab some food and drinks, and there's an adult golf course after dark, right?
Yes, indeed. Especially on the weekends after 7 p.m. It's 18 and up, so all the adults can come in and have a great time.
Have a great drink while they try. So you guys have been waiting to see me try this. I'm not the best of putters, but I have been working on this. So I'm a lefty. I'm going to take my swing at it. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is going to be embarrassing. I'm going to get this in like 20 different. Oh, I've got it around. Okay, can I just kind of hop over this roller right here? Let me see if I can get it in there. Oh, wait. What? Oh, it came back out. Well, you guys probably know I'll be here for the end of the night, but all the info on Pixar Putt is up at HoustonLife.tv. Derek and Courtney, I really thought that on TV I was going to be able to make this, but it's just not going to happen.
It's so cute, though.
The
Ratatouille. I love it.
We're so distracted by that giant tail sticking out from under that chef's hat, Lauren. We didn't even notice.
The rat tail, I know.
The rat tail freaks me out.
Such a great movie.
Cute.
Great
All right,
job, Lauren.
Have fun.
Yes. Sounds good, you guys. So fun.
After the break, a look at what's coming up on tomorrow's show, including a big announcement about a star-studded lineup coming to town.
What do you think that is? We're all going to tip our hats, right? And as we head to break, let's check in with Nichelle Turner for a look at what's coming up on entertainment tonight, including a look at an NBC show that's saying farewell. Hi, Nichelle.
Derek and Courtney tonight on ET, new details about Betty White's last days and what we know about the funeral plans. Then we're with the cast of This Is Us before kicking off their final season. Plus, only we're behind the scenes of the Blossom reunion. You don't want to miss it. That's tonight at 6:30 right here on KPRC2. Now, stay right there. Houston Life will be right back.
Coming up tomorrow on Houston Life, how the local chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi is celebrating their founding with a day of caring.
Plus, the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo is revealing their 2022 Star Entertainment lineup. It's all being announced. Lauren Kelly is going to be reporting live from the event with all the behind-the-scenes action ahead of the big announcement coming tomorrow.
Oh, man, we are so looking forward to that.
Very excited. All right, let's get a final look at what you said about our question of the day, of course, on our Facebook page. Earlier, we asked, what's something you couldn't live without if it was discontinued? Jill, you are after my heart. Music. It's good for my mind, my heart, my soul, and emotions, and can dance to it.
Oh, that's lovely. I know, music all the time, right? Liz writes in cinnamon Mentos. Oh, hold on.
I'm going to need some of those.
There's such thing?
I don't know. Rochelle writes in, the ability to get my favorite Chicago-style pizza shipped to me in Texas.
Okay,
Rochelle,
that's also impressive.
I need an
Is it frozen? It must be frozen.
It comes in
right?
like dry ice.
And Brianna writes in French fries.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Truffle fries. How about that?
So good. I love a good sweet potato fry too, don't get me wrong, but I also just love a good French fry.
I know, right?
Skinnier the better.
Why mess up a good thing?
Yeah, so good. What's the name of my drink again?
I don't know.
From earlier, from the beginning of the show?
Courtney's Cups?
Still working on that
I
name.
think it's a perfect name for a drink. Courtney's Cups.
No, it's not.
Okay, well, thanks so much for joining us. And Tex, thank you for joining us. He is finally back from vacation.
I know, look at him. He doesn't want to be bothered.
He's like, who turned on the lights in here? Sorry, buddy.
Go away. He's going to swat you with that paw.
No, he won't.
We'll see you tomorrow. And don't forget, tomorrow is Wednesday, Wine Club Wednesday. We're going to send things over to Keith and Christine.
Speaking of dry January, Courtney.
Well, I was going to say, Tex is not involved in dry January. So.
He looks like he partied hard for the New Year.
He was playing
He needs a recovery.
He was chasing all the dogs out there.
It sounds like a drinking game. Courtney's Cups.
It doesn't sound right.
There you go.
We'll work on it.
Or maybe an apparel company.
No.
You know, yeah. Let's have a brainstorming session and we'll figure it out.
We need to regroup.
We're going to go back to the drawing board.
Okay, sounds good.